Hey folks, my name is Johnny, and apparently I like to get attacked by birds. But more importantly, today is Wednesday, June 4th. It is 2:19 p.m. and the temperature is a extremely nice 24 degrees Celsius, and with the humidex, it's feeling a little bit more like 29. I'm here in Parkdale, at the eastern end of Parkdale, and just to the north of here is Queen Street. And just to the south of here is King Street West, and that's where we are headed. I just recorded a live stream that finished up in this area, and then I just popped into a Wendy's for lunch. It's been a while since I've had Wendy's. I thought, what the heck, since it's so nice out, let's make a video from here, and I'll walk along a part of King Street West I don't cover too often on the channel. Just to the left here at King and Dufferin is where we'll find Liberty Village on the south side. So I'm not sure where this one will finish up, but I'm just going to start going east on King Street West for a while and see where that takes us. Sometimes I plan these walks out and I have a bunch of talking points ready to go, and sometimes I just kind of wing them and make them up as I go. And that is what we're in store for today. This intersection here has undergone a bit of a transformation. That is masquerading as an e-bike. There was once a McDonald's on the southwest corner and a Burger King on the northeast corner. I was kind of tempted to try this place. Both fast food establishments were lost due to construction of that building there that knocked out the McDonald's. And that one over there knocked out the Burger King. I guess Wendy's saw an opportunity to move into the area. So this is Dufferin Street. Just to the south of here is Exhibition Place. And it's looking a little more pleasant on the other side. Let's cross. As I inhale some pulverized concrete or whatever that thing is kicking up. If I'm not mistaken, there used to be a Subway across the street over there. They're still in the area. So this is, oh, I can taste that stuff too. Gross. Not the Subway, the whatever kind of dust that was being kicked up from what that guy was doing. But this is east on the south side of King Street. And you'll notice a lot of old industrial buildings and mid-rise developments in the area. There's one there. It really kind of takes away from the character of the street, just having the backside of a building facing it like that. This is the Toronto Carpet Factory. That building is over 125 years old. You can see there's that bridge connecting two different buildings. The main one on the left, I think, is at least 125 years old. It's now a designated heritage building. It houses various creative offices and studios and that sort of thing. And just how glorious is this weather? We had a long, miserable winter. And there were a few really nice days in spring, but for the most part, it's been kind of bleak. A lot of overcast days and chilly weather. And yesterday, due to wildfires, the air quality wasn't all that great, but we seem to have a bit of a reprieve from that today. Just look into Liberty Village. And coming up on the right is Lamport Stadium. The stadium seats just under 10,000 people. I think it was built in the mid-70s, somewhere around 75 or 76. The Toronto Argonauts have been known to use it as a practice facility. It looks like it's set up for football now. I remember seeing a few Toronto Wolfpack games here. That was a unfortunately short-lived professional rugby team that played here. I can't quite get my camera into the gap. I think the national rugby team will sometimes play there. This is Joe Schuster Way. That'll connect you up to West Queen West. These condo buildings are relatively new at the intersection. There's a big Canadian Tire, a Longo supermarket, a Struck Tube, which is kind of like an IKEA level furniture store. Jefferson Avenue coming up, and you can turn right and head down to Exhibition Go Station. You can walk under, and I think they're building a pedestrian crossing over the station. It'll take you to Exhibition Place. There's a nice little park area here. That is also where the Ontario line will terminate, so these residents will have subway access at some point, possibly in their lifetime. This is a really nice tree-lined street, some patios and businesses. And directly south of here is BMO Field, where the Toronto Argos and FC of Major League Soccer play. have to come back later, probably in the summer, and do a Liberty Village video. I think when Liberty Village was planned as a residential neighborhood, they were kind of going for a Dumbo Brooklyn vibe. But unfortunately, I think it's come off as a little bit more of a master planned community. The residents of Liberty Village rely on the 504 King streetcar here to take them towards the financial district. That's a streetcar that can get extremely busy. There's a West Elm, which kind of reminds me, ironically, of a West Elm in Dumbo. That'll take you into the heart of Liberty Village. Area teeming with condo dwellers and some kind of bizarre suburban style plazas. This is the King Street West Railway subway underpass, built in 1888, one of the oldest in the city. Wondering what that bird attack line was at the start of the video. Well, as I was making my way down to the lake on my live stream, a bird landed on my head and started pecking it. And then another one joined in. And I had a camera in my right hand and my phone in my left hand. So I just kind of violently shook my head to get them off. Now I've got a pretty nasty kink in my neck. It hurts quite a bit. I'm hoping it's one of those things that when I wake up tomorrow, it is gone, but time will tell. Streetcars do ride in mixed traffic, which is kind of silly. Just think about all the people that can get held up because one vehicle is making a left turn. But traffic along King Street is notoriously bad. So much so that east of Bathurst they created a designated transit priority corridor. Development. That's Sudbury Street. That'll wind you up towards Queen West. A very expensive pedestrian bridge connecting Liberty Village to King Street, just to the right of here. That's it right there. As there's quite a distance between the street here and the next closest access point from Liberty Village to King. That's why that pedestrian crossing was built. It's kind of an odd design, and the elevators have been down for some very long periods of times, making it relatively inaccessible for some. These are the Electra locks on the right. There's a 63 Ossington bus. And that goes all the way up to Eglinton West Station, so I could take that bus up to Eglinton, then transfer onto an Eglinton West bus. I think I'll just opt to walk my ass over to the subway. We're at Shaw Street. It's nice and shady on this side of the street. We don't get that financial district view. Oh, and we'll get to see what's become of the Palace Arms coming up. There's an old hotel which became a rooming house. And I think this honking action, I think despite it being heritage protected, or at least the intention was to do that, it turns out the building couldn't be saved and incorporated into a new development, so I think they just had to rip it down and they'll be kind of rebuilding it. Jeans and a winter coat. Bit of an odd choice for this weather, if you ask me. There's where the Palace Arms once stood, on the northeast corner of Strawn and King here. And it looks like there's a development that's going to go in on the northwest corner. Rip the Palace Arms. You'll notice a lot of my walks through the city aren't recorded during weekday afternoons. I tend to do them closer to the late afternoon, evening rush. This is a chance to kind of see what the city is really like during the daytime. That's a Uber Eats only or food delivery guy only grocery store. I saw some of those in Amsterdam when I was there. This is a really old and interesting row of homes here, right alongside Stanley Park. Number of people in bikinis just soaking in the sun. In fact, that's the ball diamond where my finger got all janked up. Took a comebacker right off where my pinky finger is. I wasn't using my glove. Someone else needed my glove and I was using theirs. I was just pitching. And in slow pitch you stand quite close. I was able to get a glove on a very fast comebacker right at me, but kind of donked off the end of my finger, and that glove wasn't much protection. I ended up going to St. Mike's Hospital downtown. I saw an orthopedic surgeon as part of my follow-up, and we still ended up with Crooked Finger City. And these lofts here are neat. They go back, I think, to the late 80s or late 90s when they were converted. I remember spending some time at a friend's house, and then they said we're going to go to another friend's house, and that friend lived in here. This neighborhood would have been quite different back then. Now it's the Greedy Goose, and there was a period in between, and I think they were operating a club out of here. 30% off appetizers, $5.95 beer till 6 p.m. And this Friday, in a couple of days, Due West Fest kicks off on Dundas Street West. That'll be the first big street festival of the year. I'll probably attend. Every time I see this orange P for parking on the right, I always think it's a Popeyes. That's a 503 Kingston. That one's going all the way to Scarborough at Victoria Park. We have almost made it downtown. I figured my step count might be a little higher than that. More construction coming up at Bathurst. An Ontario Line station is going in. That's quite a distance between the last two Ontario Line stations. From here all the way to Exhibition. The next stop to the east of here will just be over at Queen and Spadina. That's not too far away. And we lost a couple of nice buildings and very popular establishments for this development. Unfortunately, the Wheat Chief wasn't a victim, the oldest pub in the city. The banknote bar was forced out. Future home of your new subway station. Are into downtown, and there should be noticeably less traffic as the transit priority corridor takes effect as we are east of Bathurst. At most intersections, cars have to turn right. But the King streetcar is being diverted around the financial district, as well as King and Church, which is closed all summer. And this area is a hub of nightlife. I've noticed there's been almost never-ending construction sounds pretty much the whole walk. It's a fact of life in the city. They say we have two seasons, winter and construction. This place is quite excellent. Get yourself a German sausage. Right. This used to be Lee Restaurant, but they moved just north of here. And Earl's has moved in. There's a really popular spot on weekends, Ruby Soho. As we've arrived at Portland Street. Thought they might be bringing construction supplies in. This is a really unique looking development going in on the right. Oh, it looks like Early Mercy is done. That was kind of a later nightclub right on the corner there. Yeah, let's cross. It's actually kind of looking like the renderings. Spadina coming up. That building is blocking what was once a really cool view of the CN Tower from this spot. Hopefully I remember to edit that out. That was a sneeze or whatever the hell you want to call it, left over from that dust I inhaled earlier. Toronto Night Market. And bar, that was once an LCBO, but the LCBO relocated south of there.
Yeah, this is just me.
And of course, more construction sounds await us. Belly Buster Submarines, Village Pizzeria, and Escape Manor. Hello. Oh, there's a viewer who recognized me. Awesome. I walked along this stretch in part of a live stream a few days ago. As we get to King and Peter, well, Peter to the north, Blue Jays Way to the south. There's the new Sutton Place Hotel. someone with a Phillies jersey. I wonder if they're from out of town. The Phillies spanked the Jays pretty good yesterday. Lambo action. The Tiff Bell Lightbox Theater is on the left. That's Restaurant Row on the right. We are well into the heart of the entertainment district. I'm only going to keep going till St. Andrew, as I did a video a few days ago going along King in the other direction. This is John Street. That building's had a number of different tenants over the years. Now it's King Fresh Food Market and a Starbucks. It was a Tim Hortons for quite a while, at least where the Starbucks is. I remember back in the early 90s, there was a sports card and memorabilia store called Legends of the Game located in that building. Back when there was a number of Ed Mervish restaurants on this stretch. As I walk past the Princess of Wales Theatre, and the Canada Walk of Fame. Every time you stop and look, you see a familiar name: Dan Aykroyd, Stompin' Tom Connors. And the Walk of Fame is also on the other side of the street and stretches all the way around Roy Thompson Hall. I don't think I'll ever get my name on there. In fact, I am positive I will never get my name on there. And coming up on the left is a very exciting development. A Frank Gehry designed skyscraper. Gehry Forma. Joining the list of super talls going up. Well, that's funny. You see an outhouse, and right next to it is Howie Mandel. They did Howie Dirty. Not exactly the most prominent spot, even without the outhouse. Apparently he's going to be hosting a Canadian version of The Price is Right. Royal Alex on the left.
She said maybe we should invite her.
Like 10 episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
coffee, oyster, champagne. Has a hidden speakeasy in the back. This is Simcoe Street.
We have to go into this office building. Yep. So it's
Priority, how important they are.
All right, we have made it to Kingan University. So I hope you enjoyed this very loud construction-themed walk along King Street West from Parkdale over towards the end of the entertainment district and where the financial district begins. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell and all that fun stuff if you want to see more. But if not, I certainly wouldn't blame you. I think I'm gonna go put some ice on my neck. It is quite sore from the old bird attack. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys.